Plaintiff Jackie Roman is a recovering addict, and now that she's sober, she tries to help others by renting properties to women in recovery. Jackie says after she rented a unit to the defendant, she got complaints about the defendant prostituting out of the home. She's suing her today for property damages. Defendant Sandra Dodson admits that her neighbors complained about sex noises coming from her house, but she insists she never had company over, and she only lived with her 84-year-old mother.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Like you, sir, I believe in giving second chances. I want to let you know right off the bat that my past has enabled me to help Sandra as well as a lot of other people. Years ago, I had a problem with drugs and alcohol, and from the time I was 13 years old, I struggled with alcohol primarily and in and out of hospitals.
Why do you think that was? What do you think caused that at such an early age?
Yeah, alcoholism, I believe, is a disease, and for some it gets worse, and for me it did with the drugs, later being introduced to drugs.
But you did it recreationally first, not to escape some type of trauma in your life?
No, it was...
Anything happening at home that troubled you?
Yes, there was.
You don't attribute any of that to it? Early age drinking?
In the beginning, it was fun, and I thought it was normal because I grew up with it.
Okay, so it was recreational in the beginning?
In the beginning.
All right.
But it quickly turned.
Okay.
And then there was other issues and depression and in and out of hospitals. And
that's where it came from, self-medicating. Go ahead.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
you feel better when you drink. I feel depressed when I'm not, or I feel whatever other disorder I might be experiencing. I feel better when I drink. I feel better when I get high. I feel better when I do whatever. So to escape that pain, let me do what makes me feel better, drugs. So, got it.
Amen.
Alcohol, and that's what I wanted the parents to hear that. When your child is acting out, that means there's something going on. So that's why I was trying to get to folks who see their children doing that at an early age. Need to pay attention and look further into their life to see if anything is troubling them. Some start with recreation and it remains recreation. Some start with recreation and it becomes a dependency because it helps them feel good about their life and about the conditions that they're living in, about depression, about living in the ghetto, about living in poverty, about living in this. So I feel bad about living in poverty. I feel bad about my depression. Drinking and getting high makes me feel better. That's what I want folks to know. All right, and so when did you overcome that?
Well, unfortunately,
drug and alcohol use.
1984 turned to the worst, and I ended up getting involved with heroin and cocaine and running with drug dealers, and a lot of horrible things happened to me. And I just want to share that with you because I feel, and part of why I'm here today is because I do help people because of that part of my past.
Good.
And for me, I had to go through that, and luckily that following year, though, I got into treatment. I was given a second chance, and I owe my whole life to that, and I hope I never forget it. But I remember when I was walking around at 80 pounds in 1984 and lost everything, my family, one by one, you know. So it started with an innocent bottle of Boone's Farm at 13 years old, and at 17, 20 years old, it was all the drugs you could think of, and all the places that there's no mother that raised her daughter to go.
Are you about the same age as me? How old are you?
62.
You're the exact same age as me. I started drinking Boone's Farm at 11, 2 years before you.
Oh!
That's where we started, Boone's Farm, and then we went to Mad Dog 2020.
Yes, Mad Dog, Night Train.
And then it was weed, and then it was the THC pills.
Oh, my. Yes, it was. All that, Black Beauties.
Let's stop. All right. But we are very healthy now. You appear to be very healthy, and I'm very healthy. So we overcame that, and we did damage to the our family.
Oh,
And
yes.
perhaps I did a lot of damage to the outer community, people I didn't know. And you did damage to the people you do know. And you went back to repair. You recognize that obligation, and the redemption requires that you go and help others when you've been rescued.
Oh, yes.
And I understand that when you make it out, you just don't puff yourself up and go ahead and live a great life. No, you got to reach back. One, to the people you've hurt. Two, to just help in general, doing the right thing. So thank you. When did you get into real estate?
Well, I got sober in 85 and immediately got into sales and went into real estate later when I was semi-retired. And I've been in real estate over 30 years, clean and sober 34 years, and I got into that right away and always helped people renting to, in this house in particular, with women who are starting over in recovery, because that was always near and dear to my heart, and I discount their rent. And
Let me hear from you, your background.
Your Honor, like Jackie said, we all got a lot in common. I feel like I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't been evicted. There's a...
Evicted in this case or pre?
Yeah. I had been evicted at the end of August. There's a friend of mine, a mutual friend, that also is a neighbor that I had a little falling out with, and I feel like she is the neighbor that complained on me that eventually led to my eviction.
Complain on you about what?
What did she complain about?
Yeah.
Well, one complaint was at 11 o'clock at night, I had the police department knocking on my door telling me that the sex noises coming from my apartment were too loud.
That's right.
Mind you, I live with my 84-year-old mother.
Oh.
So there's no sex going on in my apartment.
You slipping somebody in there.
No. Long overdue, but no.
All right. You tell them that's the one rumor you wish was true.
Right. Yeah.
I started drinking Boob's Farm at 11, 2 years before you.
oh,
That's where we started. Then we went to Mad Dog 2020.
yes, Mad Dog, Night Train.
And then it was weed, and then it was the THC pills.
Oh my, yes it was, all that Black Beauties.
Let's stop. All right.
Defendant Sandra Dotson is being sued by her former landlord, who claims Sandra was prostituting out of her rental unit.
What happened after the police came? What did they say? They just told you to keep it down?
They just told me what the complaint was.
Then they say keep it down.
Yeah.
So they did tell you to keep it down.
I guess.
I mean, they didn't want you to
I just
disturb
looked
the
at them and
neighbors.
told them that there was no
Either
sex.
they arrest you or they tell you to keep it down.
Keep it down.
Your Honor, if I may interject, it's
It's
I
too
appreciate
loud
what
for
she-
the whole building?
no, but what she's saying is not all of it, what I was told, and she's leaving out a lot of information.
Go ahead.
There were several complaints, and I have text messages, and they began in April. She is correct. She was there for a year with no problem, which was February. The lease was up in February.
How
It was
often these people call? They mad because they ain't getting none. Somebody to say that to you over and over. Why you call on this woman over and over about her having relations?
Well, Your Honor, I wish that was all it was, but I was informed by several text messages that there was quite a bit of traffic in and out of her house in the beginning. Additional people living there. They were lined up in the driveway. They were parked on the street, which, by the way, is right across the street from our Lindale Police Department, which anyone in the area knows they're very strict. I was kind of shocked because I know even back in my day, I wouldn't have been dumb enough to do that. Right there across from the police.
That's because they weren't lined up in the street. Down the driveway, in the street. They weren't lined
Just
up.
the drive, not the street?
Not down the driveway
The
or in
sidewalk?
the street.
Sidewalk in the side door?
No, not at all.
Back door?
They weren't lined up anywhere.
Oh.
Well, I have a text message with pictures where she actually sent
With
their
the
license
line?
plates.
Said what?
My tenant downstairs sent me pictures of the cars parked in the driveway with their license plates.
What page?
I don't have that in there. I'm sorry. I have it. I
That's
didn't
the most
include-
interesting part of the
Because
case.
it didn't happen.
No, I have it on my phone still, but I wouldn't do that to somebody else's vehicle. I mean, if he's married, oh my God, there's another case.
Okay, you're right. That's the big.
I do have it in my
been the most
phone.
fun of this whole case.
Well,
Is seeing the people lined up around the corner.
it's in the,
waiting to get in.
it is in the police. It is in the police report, and like I said, I have the video.
What do
of
you
the
think? It
text.
was for drugs?
I'm sorry.
She's a drug dealer, you think?
Oh, we totally believe that there was, I don't know if her specifically, but somebody in that house, because what happened was, not only were the cars coming and going so quickly, there was guys that would go and they were 15 minutes only there, several complaints about that, and this bedroom is right over her 10-year-old son's room, and he was complaining about the noise. He heard men and women screaming and moaning and was scared. He was afraid, and they went in there, and she ran right across the street that night. That same day, I had earlier a text message about the complaints of the traffic, and then that night, it was around 11 o'clock at night. When I saw that, I thought, this is it. They got a little boy that's going to listen to all that. You know, that's just not right. And
It's just not right, Your Honor.
so, and then when she did finally move out in September 2nd, I have pictures of this
Making all that noise.
drug
That little boy in
paraphernalia.
his room.
It is in the police report that they heard the men and the women moaning and groaning, and they watched the guys 15 minutes apart going in the house. I mean, what else?
You have a police report that says
Page
that.
2 and 3.
The whole neighborhood is saying the same thing, man. Everybody's not wrong about you. At approximately to the downstairs resident came into the police department. It was so bad they had to go to the police, let alone call the police. Came into the lobby to report that her upstairs neighbor was being excessively loud. She stated that she had her 10-year-old son hearing a headboard hitting a wall and an unidentified man and woman moaning and having sex loudly. She stated that this has been an ongoing problem for a while. See what you've done. She also stated that she believed the upstairs neighbor was possibly doing drugs and freaking off. The woman know all that. And prostituting herself to multiple men throughout the day. She stated that multiple cars would park in the driveway where unidentified men have been frequenting the upstairs dwelling and then leaving. She also reported that one unidentified male accidentally knocked on her door.
Yep.
And he had a radio in his hand that was going to be used to block out the noise.
What?
You see what you've done?
Unbelievable.
See, yes!
That even sounds like it's made up.
Well, some of it was by me. But the essence of it was the same, ma'am. The woman came to report that her son, 10-year-old son, had to listen to your exploits, you and your guys, because you all made too much noise and you bumped up against the wall. So that is something written by the police.
Mind you, I live with my 84-year-old mother.
Oh.
So there's no sex going on in my
You know you
apartment.
slipping somebody in there.
No. Long overdue, but no.
You
I
tell
mean-
them that's the one rumor you wish was true.
Right. Yeah.
Defendant Sandra Dotson is being sued by her former landlord, who claims Sandra was prostituting out of her rental unit.
Have you been told that you make too much noise?
No.
No one has ever came to you?
Not before that, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Oh,
No.
only that time? Only once?
I mean, when the police knocked on the door and told me that.
Just that
but
time.
nothing was going on.
Just that time?
Yeah.
Once?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
once?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
That's not true.
Tell me.
That is not true. When I first got the calls in April, that they started then, I went and I visited with her, and I had called her a couple times. So I know we talked about it 2 or 3 times, and she promised me her son was going to move out. He was bringing in his friends or his girlfriend.
You're talking about the traffic, not
Yeah.
the noise.
Well, all of that noise, yeah, everything. But we talked about all of it 2 or 3 times.
Talked about the noise.
The sex noise?
Yes.
That was the final straw. No, that was the one time only. She's correct.
Okay, all right.
That was the final straw, Your Honor.
All right. Told you they was just hating on you, yeah. She could sell drugs, she could do all this other stuff, but if she get too loud sex, then y'all mad. Ain't nothing illegal about that. Am I right or wrong? Nothing illegal about loud sex. She prostituting? That wasn't the last straw. She selling drugs? That wasn't the last straw. She got the men lined up? That wasn't the last straw. But time she get her a good time, make a little noise at her good time, now everybody mad.
Jealous.
Jealous. Tell me about the property you're suing her for, ma'am. Let's get off this sex fee stuff.
Well, the property is total. There's a lot of damage. I couldn't believe it. All them years I've had tenants, 5-10 years, and never seen so much. I was shocked because she was only there just over a year. But the carpeting alone, she had a cat that I guess she left locked up in different rooms.
You have a page that's itemized here?
Yes, I do, sir.
What page? With all the items on one, if you can.
Page 1, it has a list of the total property damage.
That's what I'm looking for. All right. And when you approached her about these things, what did she say?
She didn't even respond. I had to send her an email acknowledging for her deposit and an itemized list of the
You
damage.
have that the email here in the evidence?
No, I do not.
Okay. And she didn't respond to the email. Got it. Did she do a walkthrough with you?
No, she moved out, and I
Abandoned.
canceled the eviction.
Got it. All right, ma'am. Did you damage the carpet, the painting, 11 pairs of blinds, 5 smoke detectors? You know I had to take them smoke detectors down. You know that. Had to rip them. That was the first order of business. Rip them smoke detectors off. Much as we gonna be smoking in here. Replace ceiling fan, cleaning garbage. Ma'am, what do you say to this? The carpet.
My cat did damage a couple areas of the carpet by 2-bedroom doors, or by 1-bedroom door and by the porch door. Okay. And he also damaged 2 or 3 blinds, and that was it.
Okay, ma'am, what type of painting, other than natural wear and tear, what type of discoloration did she cause in paint?
Well, underneath the windowsills, I don't know what happened there, if it was a window air conditioning unit or she just left the windows open, but you could tell by the pictures that the paint was damaged on the wall, and it looks like it was water damage. It's either from the air conditioning unit or they left the windows open.
That one damaged spot that you're talking about underneath the window was already there when I moved in.
Well, that's what she's saying, but that's not true. We had anything painted and patched, but there was 3 different windows, 3 different areas.
How much did it cost to paint?
The painting, the labor alone was $750, and the materials was
So you
100.
only painted that part? You didn't paint the whole unit?
No.
Okay.
No, it would have been a lot more. And
What
that's
about the blinds, ma'am?
Yeah, my cat did mess up a couple of blinds, but not
What
11
about the
pair.
smoke detector?
Not 11 pair. No smoke detector.
How many
There was
pair?
one smoke detector.
How many pair?
I want to say 3, because he
wanna
did the
say.
front window and
Yeah,
two.
you should
two
be
of the
very
bedrooms.
clear on damaging somebody's property. And 5 smoke detectors, what happened there?
There was one smoke detector in the whole unit, and it had a dead battery in it.
no, that's not true.
You had 5?
I had 5, and all my units have it. I even have carbon monoxide.
What happened? What was wrong with them?
There was nothing wrong with those. Those were replaced a couple years ago.
No, what was wrong with
They
them?
were gone. She ripped them out of the ceiling, and it just reminded me back when I was using drugs. I thought things were coming out of the vents. I swear to God, it was the first thing I thought of. Was this happening to her?
There was
They're all
one
gone.
smoke detector in the whole unit.
That's
And
not.
what'd
It
you
was
do
by
with
the
it?
2nd bedroom.
What'd you do with it?
I didn't do anything with it.
Your Honor, those are.
Battery went out, you said.
Yeah, the battery was dead in it.
And you just let it...
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
When the battery is dead, it beeps. So you just lived with
Took the
beep.
battery out.
The whole thing was gone.
So you took
I
the
didn't take
battery
the whole,
out.
whatever. I didn't take the whole smoke detector. What am I going to do with it?
Your Honor, those smoke detectors are $20. I would never say that. for that amount. It was, all of this was just too much. And I have been a landlord for a long time, and I've never seen so much damage. It was just too much. But I would not say that about a smoke detector for a $20 item if it wasn't true. There was guys that would go, and they were 15 minutes only there. Several complaints about that. And this bedroom is right over her 10-year-old son's room, and he was complaining about the noise. He heard men and women screaming and moaning and was scared.
Defendant Sandra Dotson is being sued by her former landlord, who claims Sandra was prostituting out of her rental unit.
Ceiling fan, ma'am.
All 3 fans worked fine when I left. How is it damaged, Jackie? How is it damaged?
I don't know. The guy, I thought I could fix it at first. I thought he could just tighten it. I thought that's what it was, because it was wobbly. That's what it was. The one by the big window in the family room.
Okay, you're saying I did that?
It wasn't like that before you were there.
Because it wasn't tight?
No,
Ma'am,
the electrician.
you should have responded to her email and followed up with a walkthrough so that you could see it for yourself. You ignored her. You admit to never following through on seeing what damages she's alleging. I'm going to subtract, ma'am, because you want 5 smoke detectors, $200, but they only cost $20. You said it.
That was not including the installation. The price was...
All you do is stand up and install it. No, ma'am. You want $100 for somebody to go up and twist it on.
No,
Really?
no. No, it was not that.
You overpaid. $45.77 minus 100 is $44.77. Ma'am, you had no legitimate defense to any of this. You never went back to find out what damage. You never responded to her written request to look into the damages. So therefore, you're responsible. $44.77 is your judgment. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Sandra, I would love to see you get the help you need. And as I told you, even after all this happened, I offered to help you, and I meant that from my heart. I will always be there for you and the other girls. I'll continue to help other tenants that are trying to turn their life around when I see they're helping themselves. I'll continue to give and help. And I mean that from my heart, and I hope that this maybe was what you needed. I know it was for me in 1984, for my mother to shut the door on me.
I just want to say thank you, Jackie, for everything that you've done for me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.